It is day 6. Recap you've been waiting for. We are here. We went to training camp again. The pads were on for the second day. And today was probably the best day of training camp. It was so much fun. This was the most intense practice. It was a dog fight. Travarius Ward wasn't there, by the way, just so y'all know. He was in street clothes. I saw him running on the side. I just think it was a day off. He deserves a day off. That man has been grinding and balling. But I want to talk about everything that went down today in training camp. I have a lot of notes. We'll kind of go through like just how it started, and we'll kind of burn through the day. And then what we'll do from there is we'll go to questions. So we'll try to get to it as much as we can and as fast as I can. So what's up, everybody? How are we feeling today? It was a great training camp. Again, this was my favorite training camp session of the whole week so far. This was the best. This was just so good. It was an intense training camp. Tempers were flaring, and it was amazing to see. Well, y'all are in here. Hit the like button, please. Subscribe. Hit the like button on your way in. Let's do what we got to do. Help the page out. So it started out, with Jason Verrett coming out early. He was doing some rehab. He was running on the knee. He looked good. It was good to see Jason Verrett out there. Looks really good, man. Marcos, we will get to that. I know everybody wants to talk about Fred and Aiyuk. We'll get there. I'm not going to lead off with that. I just want to go through what I saw early, and then we'll get right into it. But Jason Verrett, because if I don't get to these things, I ain't going to get to him. Jason Verrett, he looked good. He was rehabbing. Again, it was nice to see Jason Verrett. This guy could be a very solid part of this team. We all want Jason Verrett to be healthy, and he looked very good out there on his knee. Like I said, he looked very solid, and it was nice. It was just nice to see. There was one point where he just sprinted across the field, and I was like, man, Jason, you looking so healthy. It was very nice to see Jason Verrett healthy and running. And, they're ramping him up. His rehab's ramping up. He did tear his ACL last year, so it's a big injury. But he looked like he was progressing along. Another guy that was out there was Jimmy Garoppolo. Whoa, again, he was out there, of course, rehabbing, doing his thing. He was doing the DAC. He did the little DAC run. He was stretching. Y'all saw the videos. Then later in the day, he was throwing. A fan caught a video of Jimmy Garoppolo throwing. He was throwing about 35 yards, according to Matt Mayoko. But he was throwing today. Jimmy was out in full swing, He wasn't working in drills, but he was just casually throwing the ball. So Jimmy was there. That was fun to watch. Jimmy Garoppolo, when he's there, everybody's like, whoa, is that Jimmy? Is that Jimmy? Oh, is it? Kind of turns heads. It was interesting to see Jimmy out there again. Again, he was throwing the ball. He was throwing. It was, shoulder looked okay. And I think this is good for other teams to see that Jimmy Garoppolo is throwing the football. And that is a very good thing for this team and in their chances of trading him. So, again, Jimmy Garoppolo, he was out running. He was throwing. So, Talanoa Hufanga, can you guys guess who the first person out again? Yes, Talanoa Hufanga. That man has a killer mentality every single day. Talanoa Hufanga is the first man out. First man out. This guy's mentality is crazy. We got a lot to talk about Talanoa. He had a pretty solid day. The thing I love about Talanoa Hufanga is he's got a special handshake for every single player. Every player he goes and greets, he greets them all. It's those aloha vibes. He greets every player. And then he has a special handshake for every single one of them. I love it. I love it. Dan Brunskill, he was taking first-team reps today at center. Even after practice, he stayed with Trey, and they were working on taking snaps. So it looks like Dan Brunskill has kind of moved up to that first-team center. He might be your starting center. Right now, Dan Brunskill has kind of stolen the show from Jake Brendel, but, we'll see. It's still early. I don't know. Again, it's been like a 50-50 split between Jake Brendel and Dan Brunskill. I know those two guys are getting tongue-tied. Dan Brunskill and Jake Brendel. Say that 10 times fast. Dan Brunskill was taking first-team reps today. Initially, Jake Brendel was the guy everybody thought was going to be the starting center. So it looks like Dan Brunskill is your starting center. Danny Gray was getting a lot of work fielding kicks today. He had a great day. We'll talk about Danny Gray later, but he was fielding a lot of kicks. Could be a special team punt returner at some point this season. He had a really solid day for Danny Gray. This was the best day I've seen him. One-on-one reps were fun. Again, those are my favorite parts of padded practice. one-on-one reps. Hufunga, he beat Kittle on his first rep. Trey Sermon had a great catch and coverage by Aziz Al-Shahir. Oh, man, Trey Sermon had a good day. We'll talk about Trey. Trey Sermon was shining. He was probably the best running back today. And Jordan Mason. Those two guys are great. But Trey Sermon, man, good day. We'll talk about him as we get going. We get to all this, the one-on-one stop, and then they get into team drills. This is where it gets fun. Y'all want the story. I know everybody wants to hear about Brandon Aiyuk and Fred Warner. And here we go. So, Brandon Aiyuk has been the best player in training camp by far on the offense. He has been killing people out there, like dominating, right? Fred Warner the other day, what did he say? He says his job is to make Fred Warner or Brandon Aiyuk better. He wants to push this man and make him reach his ceiling. He wants to make Brandon Aiyuk even better. He wants to make this guy a star in the league. He knows he has what it takes to be, something special. And Fred Warner, being the captain that he is, he says he's trying to get it all out of him, trying to push him to the limit. And he says he purposely picks on Brandon Aiyuk. And today you could tell. Nice little play from Brandon Aiyuk, and then Fred Warner gets in his face, and Brandon Aiyuk wasn't having it. He was like, step off me, right? He's like, step off me, son. And okay, that play ended. It comes back a couple plays later, pass to Brandon Aiyuk on the far right sideline here, and Fred Warner, hits him, and he flexes. He flexes on him, and Brandon Aiyuk was like, nah, you ain't having that. And he tried to throw a punch. He tried to get him. He squared up with Fred Warner, and then guess what? A fight breaks out. A dog pile comes up, and everybody's, on each other. It was crazy. Fred Warner, man, he brought the smoke, and Brandon Aiyuk was not backing down. And, I love it, because Brandon Aiyuk has the dog in him. He has the dog in him. After that, Kyle Shanahan broke it up. He paused practice. He was talking to him. He was probably like, yo, settle down. These are your teammates. But I love the fact that Fred Warner is pushing Brandon Aiyuk to his limit, to the max. He's trying to get the best out of Brandon Aiyuk. Because if he can step up and hold his own, and with Fred Warner, ain't nobody in this league gonna step up to Brandon Aiyuk. Nobody's gonna push him around. Nobody's gonna bully him. Fred Warner is making Brandon Aiyuk tough. He's making him tougher. He's making him hard-nosed. He's making him a dog. And Brandon Aiyuk did not back down. If you have All-Pro Fred Warner coming at you, and you step up and you lock eyes and you step up to him and you don't back down, that's going to go a long way in the season. When somebody else tries to come at you and try to hit you and do whatever they got to do, Brandon Aiyuk's not going to step down. He's not going to step down to any cornerback, any linebacker, any safety. That's what Fred Warner's trying to do. He's trying to instill toughness on Brandon Aiyuk. But that was the biggest, craziest part of the day. They were getting hyped. They were getting intense. It was a very fierce competition. I'm telling you, man, these guys want to prove that they are better than the other guy. And it's all love. Brandon and Fred Warner, they don't hate each other. There's nothing bad between them. There's no bad blood. It's just competition. It's iron sharpens iron. And these two guys are the best of the best, and they're bringing the best out of each other. It was so intense. You could just see Aiyuk was just like, all right, you want some of this? I'm going to bring it. And Fred Warner said, bring it, buddy. It was a moment. I'll tell you, it was definitely a moment. And then after that, when things kind of calmed down, Brandon Aiyuk went right back to work. He responded so well to that, because normally if you don't have that killer mentality, if you don't have that dog in you, you're going to come out and you're going to drop passes. You're just going to be not running your routes as sharp. This man came out and he continued to play good. Brandon Aiyuk, he, a moment after a few plays after the fight, he gets a dime from Nate Sudfeld, catches it. Beautiful catch, right? And then another catch from Trey over the middle. It was, dude, Brandon Aiyuk has been the best player in training camp by far and away. By far. This guy is shining. The chemistry between Brandon Aiyuk and Trey Lance, holy smokes, man. These two guys have such a good, rapport. You could tell all the chemistry that they've been building, that they've been stacking, that they've been working over the last 2 years. Oh, my God. It is just it's incredible. It's money in the bank. Every time Trey throws it to Brandon Aiyuk, it's usually on the money. He knows where he's going to be. Easy. It's just easy. It's boom, he knows where Aiyuk's going to be. He knows where he's gonna step up. Brandon Aiyuk and Trey Lance, if they continue what they're doing in the training camp into the regular season, this can be one of the best duos of all. This could be one of the best duos, best young duo. It is great to see it. But yeah, Brandon Ayuk, 2 fights with Fred Warner. He didn't back down. The guy is a menace. Brandon Ayuk, you know what's crazy? He went from being in the doghouse to having that dog in him. He went from the doghouse to being the top dog. Can you imagine? This man went from being in the doghouse to having the dog in him. That's how tough he is. He's transformed his mental from a whole year ago, and I love it. I love to see what Brandon Ayuk has become, man. This guy has just transformed into a young star on the rise. So that was great to see. That was the best move. That was the best moment of training camp of the whole experience the last 2 weeks. That was amazing. So Trey Lance, he had a lot of good throws today. He made some big time throws to Ayuk. He had a play to Danny Gray. He was finding Kittle today. He found a few plays to Kittle. There was one play where he just tucked it and ran up the middle. Boom, nice little run. His rushing was nice today. He scrambles well. Lance has good instincts. He scrambles well, like I just said. Sometimes I feel like he overthinks things. Like he's just like, should I run? Should I not? Should I run? Should I not? Like I think he's still learning to process things, but he's getting better every day. And I feel like his chemistry with the O-line and, of course, the receivers is getting better. You know, he hasn't really had Deebo in there except the last 2 days. And Deebo is getting kind of ramped up. They're splitting him in the first and second team reps. And today, Deebo was in the first team reps a little bit more than he, expected. And he looked good with Trey. They had some nice little. There was a catch that Deebo had over the middle, and it was a dart. I mean, Trey threw that thing like 100 miles an hour, and he, whoo, right into Deebo's hands. And I was like, that's a throw. That was a throw, champ. Deebo's building chemistry. Trey's building chemistry. The O-line is getting better. Today, the O-line looked pretty good overall. This was probably their best day for them. McGlinchey looked good. I mean, he has to go up against Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa is phenomenal. Nick Bosa was the best defensive player today. Just out of this world. He was running over people. There was a play where Kyle Juszczyk was on the line, and Nick Bosa came up, and he just trucked him, and he threw him on the floor. I was like, oh, my God, what are you doing? Oh, my God, I feel bad. Nick Bosa's incredible. Best player on defense by far and away today. But, yeah, overall, Trey Lance looks good. He, like I said, it was just a really good day for Trey. You know, he has the other thing I noticed about Trey, his pocket awareness is good. Like, he knows where he needs to be. He knows where his, feet have to be. He knows where people are coming at him. He has good pocket awareness, and it's getting better every day. And the other thing is, he's just getting more comfortable. You could tell he's just becoming more comfortable with the offense. The first few days, it was just a little slow, it was a little dragged out. Now it's getting more smooth, his decisions. The plays are they're coming in a little faster. So it's nice. It was nice today to see Trey this again. Best day of camp. Let's take a look at some of these players that are not named Fred Warner or Brandon Ayuk, because, again, that's what all of us want to talk about is the fight. But, I mean, it is what it is. It was a competition between two players that want to bring the best out of each other. And I love how Brandon Ayuk is stepping up, and he's not taking anything from anybody. He stepped up to Fred Warner, and that takes a lot. You cannot be weak to step up to Fred Warner. It was good. Let's see. Trey Lance, there were so many plays. Kittle over the middle, BA to the right side, over the middle to Trey Lance. To BA. It was crazy. Let's see. Couple other players that stood out. So Trey Sermon, again, best running back today. Trey Sermon today, he looked good. He had some nice runs to the outside. Nice little catch. Shifty, elusive. This was Trent Sermon's best day of training camp by far. He was looking so good. Trent Sermon is your running back too, and he is becoming a person that I notice more often these last few days. Trey Sermon is sticking out. He had a hell of an offseason. You can tell he really focused, and I'm telling you, man, Trey Sermon, this is a good camp for him. And the thing last year, I don't think he played as hard or tried as hard because he wasn't as aggressive from what I see this year to last year. I don't think he was as aggressive last year. He was a rookie. He was still learning, developing. The playbook's tough. And Trey Sermon had some injuries last year. He did have some injuries. You know what I mean? So there were some injuries. And when you're hurt, you're not going to try to play as hard because you don't want to continue to get hurt. So today was a nice day for Trey Sermon. Another running back that looked good was Jordan Mason. This guy might be an undrafted gem. You know how Kyle Shanahan finds these undrafted gems or late round guys like Elijah Mitchell, Matt Breida, undrafted. Jordan Mason is fast. He's quick. He's shifty. I mean, I haven't seen a bad Jordan Mason play the whole training camp. The whole training camp, I have not seen a bad play from Jordan Mason. This kid might make the team as a surprise. I don't think Hasty makes it over Jordan Mason. If Mason has a good preseason, pencil him in. Keep an eye. Remember the name, Jordan Mason. Remember the name. Write it down. Everybody go get a pen and a paper or take your notes out on your iPhone, your notes app, and write Jordan Mason should make this team. Yeah, Hasty. There was one play when they were practicing, little handoff drills. Takes the handoff, dropped it on the floor. What are you fucking doing, Jamaica Hasty? That was a bad. It was not good. He didn't look good today. Jamaica Hasty, he's getting pressured by Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason might make this roster. Jamaica Hasty, he gone. Maybe. My prediction is Jamaica Hasty. He gone. He gone. Did I talk about Talanoa Hufanga? Yes, I have. He's my favorite player lately. This guy's a beast. Great coverage. He forced a Jawan Jennings incompletion, not interception, an incompletion. Hufanga's a dog, man. He looked good, looked great, looked amazing, whatever you want to say. Hufanga, definitely a good day for him. He just continues to have good days. Let's see. I think those were the big notes. Oh, yeah, Danny Gray today had a day. 2 big, deep passes from Nate the Great Sudfeld. Nate Sudfeld probably had his best day at camp, too. He was knocking him out the park to Danny Gray today. I mean, he wasn't like elite. It's not like, oh, my God, Nate Sudfeld looked amazing. This is his best day. He didn't look bad. Brock Purdy makes some impressive plays here and there. He's inconsistent. I know he is playing against the threes. But I'm telling you, this backup quarterback duo or battle, I guess you want to call it, this backup quarterback battle, QB2 battle, Nate Sudfeld and our guy Brock Purdy, it's going to be closer than you think. Preseason's going to be fun between these two guys. These two guys are going to battle. Very much so in preseason, guys. Don't sleep on on Brock Purdy. Don't sleep on him. Do not sleep on Brock Purdy. Jimmy Robinson, we're gonna get to the Deebo. Let's get right into that because I do want to talk about this today. Deebo Samuel had his press conference, his first press conference since coming back to the team after a fresh, shiny, minty, beautiful 3-year contract extension. And he talked a lot about, everything, a little bit of everything. And I want to get to it. And shout out to Deebo. He was wearing a Brandon Aiyuk shirt. I need that shirt. I need a Brandon Aiyuk shirt. That was a phenomenal shirt. But he says he wears all the players' shirts. He likes to rep them. But it was cool to see Deebo supporting Brandon Aiyuk, wearing his shirt. I was pretty dope. So let's get to it. Deebo Samuel's first press conference, he talked about, he addressed the question about how people said he did not want to play wide back. He basically said it was fake news. He said, look, that's never something I said. He goes, look at the Dallas game. Look at the games. I put the tape out there. I was a running back. He said he never said it. It was false, right? It was false news. Nobody said that. It was the report. He didn't say that. Again, this is basically what I've been telling you guys the last couple weeks when all this has been going down. I said, look, has Deebo actually said anything? No, he didn't. He didn't say anything. It was the reporters putting words in his mouth. They speculated, and they were speaking for him. He didn't say anything about not wanting to play the wide back. And I like that he shot down those rumors. He addressed it. And I like how he just, boom, said, hey, it's fake news. That's false. It's just the media. Again, they were putting words on his mouth. And then they did ask him about why did he request a trade? Does he regret it? And he says, he doesn't really regret it. He goes, I can't tell you why I requested it. But at the end of the day, it's a business. That's what he said. It's a business decision, and I respect it. I know he didn't really delve too much into it, and that's his prerogative. At the end of the day, If that's what he wants to tell us, that he's not going to tell us, basically, I respect it. It is a business. That the NFL is a business. So whatever happened, if anything did happen, that's between Deebo and the front office, and I respect it. You know, he basically just says, at the end of the day, it's a business, and it's true because they could turn on you like that. The NFL, they could trade you. It's not for long, right? We know how the NFL, they say it stands for not for long. The Niners could trade anybody at the drop of a hat if they really wanted to. Look what they did to DeForest Buckner. All right? Look what they did to DeForest Buckner. They traded him, and they thought we were going to keep the guy, but they didn't. Deebo Samuel did what he had to do, and he got paid, and he said he's happy, he's here, it's over. At the end of the day, I got paid. And part of it tells me that, okay, if he requested a trade, then he put the pressure on the Niners to say, hey, look, I want the money. I'm going to request a trade. Figure it out. It was a leverage move. To me, it's a leverage move, and I don't think it was a bad leverage move because he had no leverage, and he had to figure out how to get leverage. You got to give respect to his agent because his agent handled this very well. He did a great job in masterminding this because he gave a lot of credit to his agent. He has the last few days. He tweeted out something about his agent, and his agent put down the contracts of so many wide receivers: DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, Terry McLaurin, Deebo. You got to respect that. And then the other thing that Deebo said, and I think is what we have to really understand the most, is he says, the thing I learned about the contracts negotiation and all this business is you have to have patience. He goes, you have to have patience. So maybe in the beginning, Deebo wasn't as patient. Maybe he wanted it to get done right away, right? And that's what Smitty and I were talking about, is they should have paid him now. Right after all the market started going up, the Niners should have locked it in and said, hey, look, Deebo, we respect you, we value you, pay you now. And I think maybe he did feel a certain type of way that, why aren't you paying me now? Okay, you don't want me, I'm going to request a trade. So maybe that was part of it. Again, he didn't really say it, so that's, again, speculation. But I think that had they had paid him right away, it would have been fine. But again, the Niners don't pay people at the drop of a hat. They take their time. It's a process. And I think Deebo learned that. And he says coming back to minicamp, that was like the first step. They talked with Kyle and they fixed their relationship. He stayed in shape this offseason. And he knew it was going to get done. And it just took time. And I think, again, the biggest takeaway is I think Deebo realizes maybe he wasn't patient enough, because he said it was patience that I had to have in the end. And in this last week, he says it was his most stressful week ever. He said, I was so stressed this last week. And you can imagine, training camp started, the players are out there, you're getting all these rumors, DK just got paid. Oh, is Deebo going to get paid? Is Deebo going to get paid? And there was all this speculation, and I'm sure his agent was talking to the front office, and it was ramping up, and everybody's going like, oh my God, is Deebo going to get paid? Are they going to get traded? I'm sure he was stressed. Like, Deebo was probably so stressed out through all this. Like, he probably was sitting there like us. Is Deebo going to get paid? He probably was sitting there, I don't know. Am I going to get paid? Everybody wants me to get paid. Am I going to get paid? He didn't know if he was or not. Like, I think he was just as stressed as the fans and frustrated. It's just a crazy process. But I'm just glad it's over. And I think overall, everything was the way it should be. I think it was handled well overall. I don't think that it was bad. I just think the media overblew things and they speculated. Again, the media was the one that started putting out these false narratives, and I'm glad that Deebo addressed it today, and I knew he would eventually, and it would all come out that Deebo didn't say anything, and the media was just saying shit to say it. That's what they did. And again, Deebo said it was false, and the media, what they always do is during the off season, they need stories to go with, they need views, they need to post something on social media, they need articles to write. So they're going to make this speculation up. But as society and sports media, as fans, we have to be able to realize if it's true or not, or if it's just, you see the news at face value. Now, when you read it, do you believe it? Do you believe everything you read on the internet? Or do you say, okay, that's one person's opinion on it, that's a speculation on it, I'm going to wait till the full story comes out. And that's the way I look at it is, okay, we might report this story, we might say this is what's being said, but is it true? Is it 100% true? Is it all valid? Is it, something that can be proven? Most of the time it's not, until the player comes out and they speak on it. And I'm, telling you, this is basically what we've been saying on the Quad Box. Smitty and I have told you guys, Deebo hasn't said anything. So overall, I think it was handled well. I'm glad he addressed it the way he addressed it. And he did talk about how, him and Kyle talked a lot and they bridged their relationship. And Trent Williams gave him a lot of advice, right? A lot of advice. Um, let's see. There was one thing that Deebo said today that really stuck out to me. It was pretty nice to. So let me read the notes. Okay. Oh, so they talked about. He did say that Trent Williams gave him a lot of advice and help along the way during his contract negotiations. And then after that, they asked him. They said, "Is there any other player that really was in your ear or talked to you or gave you advice?" And he said, Trey Lance. He called regularly. It's like Trey called him every day to check up on him and ask what was going on. And he says Trey was asking every day, "Yo, Deebo, you coming? You signing? You getting your contract?" And Deebo told Lance, this is what he said. This was a direct quote from Deebo. He says, "We'll figure it out when we figure it out and be back to work." That was Deebo's response to Lance. And I'm really glad that Trey Lance took the initiative to reach out to Deebo. I think he knew how important Deebo is to this day, or he knows how important he is, and he needs to build that chemistry and he needs to build that relationship. And for Trey Lance, a young 22-year-old man, reaching out and calling Deebo and saying, "Hey, is everything okay? You good? What's going on?" Like, he checked on him all the time. Trey Lance, man, this is a good young man, and I'm happy to hear that he reached out to Deebo several times during the whole process. That's his quarterback. That's his QB1. And he showed that he cared. So it was good to hear that. And, Deebo did talk nice about Trey. He says he's a good young player. He's got a lot of skills. And, he's going to continue to learn. And the thing that Deebo said, he says Trey Lance is smart, but I don't think he knows it. So he's giving him credit. I think Trey Lance is tough on himself. Tough on himself. And then the other cool thing is Deebo saying what we've been saying, is this defense is elite. He says, Deebo said this is the best defense in the NFL, by far. Best defense in the world. And Trey has to go up against it. Just what Trey Lance has to do. He's going up against the best defense in the NFL, guys. So if you see these reports that, Trey Lance is struggling, he's playing the best defense in the NFL. He's playing the best defense in the NFL. And he's a 22-year-old quarterback who's starting as QB1 for the first time in his career. If he's not struggling against his defense has some issues. His defense is great at all three levels. Front line, on the D-line, the linebackers, and that secondary. It's a great defense. And it's a good problem to have that Trey Lance is going up against a stout, unbelievable defense. So, Niner by nature, you hit the nail on the head. My man says 61 people tuning in, only 29 likes. Let's get those likes up. Smash that like button. Hit the likes. Come on. On your way in, on your way out, hit that like button, baby. Smash that like button. Let's get it up. Let's see if we can get it all the way up. Smash that like button if you're listening. You know what we got to do. We got to hit that like button. Appreciate the support. Appreciate Niner by nature. Always shouting out the page and helping get the page up, the likes up, all that good stuff. So, oh, man, let's see. That's pretty much what I observed. I'll take the next 5 to 10 minutes for questions and kind of like a rapid fire, and we'll see what you guys have questions. Appreciate you, Joshua. Let's go. Get them likes up. There we go. 32 to 40. That's what we got to do. Get them likes up. Jimmy says Spencer Burford looked good today. He looked better today. I wouldn't say he looked good. The O-line, well, no, let me take that back. The O-line, all of them look good today compared to where they've been. Let me start by that. I think the O-line had their best day in camp. They really held their blocks pretty well. I mean, Nick Bosa's Nick Bosa. He dominated whoever he played. It's not even a question. Nick Bosa dominated. You take away Nick Bosa from the equation, and you look at everybody else, they played good. Mike McGlinchey was solid. Aaron Banks he was kind of up and down today. There's a few good plays he made, but there's a few bad plays today. I think this was Aaron Banks' not his best day. I mean, again, Aaron Banks has played pretty well overall. Spencer Burford, he continues to get first-team reps all day at right guard. So I think the O-line really handled themselves well today. I didn't really see any big pressures on Trey. There was a few, but nothing like, oh, God, that O-line just looked terrible. They collapsed. Not much. When they first started, there was one big one, and then there was a series where Trey was just going at it. He wasn't missing. And then there was this few series, like 3 or 4 in a row, where the Trey didn't get anything off, and the defense was kind of swarming. So overall, O line held their own today. I will say, I think the O line played pretty good today. Corey Garza, Donovan West. I didn't see much of in these undrafted guys. Again, they're not going to get a lot of work in on these drills. I mean, sometimes when the third team comes out, they throw them in, they rotate them in. But again, what I keep saying is for these undrafted guys, it's going to be preseason. They're going to have to really shine out in the preseason. So, didn't see much of Donovan West. Let's see. Jimmy says, do you think that practice is even productive for the offense if they can't do anything because they're always getting deep? No, it's definitely practice is needed. That's how they get better, because they're playing against the best defense in the league. Like, they might have a bad day, but again, if you've watched them from the beginning to now, they've improved. They have improved. I know we keep hearing, oh, the defense is great, the defense is great. But the offensive line has improved. And Trey has improved. And Brandon Aiyuk continues to shine. So it is, man, it is needed. It is productive. It's productive for everybody. And I know the defense is ahead of this offense by far, but the offense is coming back. Today, I think the offense had the better day overall. I really do. It is necessary, and I think that every day both sides are going to get better. Both sides are going to start learning, but it is definitely needed. I think the O-line has learned a lot in the last couple of weeks, and these younger guys need the reps. Burford, Banks, everybody else, they need the reps. If they don't get these reps, they're going to be lost. So it may not look good because the D-line's pushing them, but they need to learn. This is where they learn. This is where they get better. This is the foundation. Get the playbook down. Get the looks down. I think it was definitely much needed. And I do think that every day is a productive day. There's no unproductive days in NFL training camp, in my opinion. Noah, he says, you trying to get in on the press conferences? One of these days, we'll be there. Nathan Rio says, I heard Danny Gray went off today. Yeah, Danny had a good day. We talked about him. He had his best day at camp. 2 deep passes from Nate Sudfeld. I mean, beautiful catches, beautiful throws. They were the highlights of the day. Danny Gray had a good day. A very good day. Giovanni Payne says, why Fred and BA fought today. Again, we talked about it. His competition. Fred Warner's pushing Brandon Aiyuk to be the best version of himself. He said it the other day, I am going to make Brandon Aiyuk tap into his full potential. He likes to get under his skin. It's competition. Iron sharpens iron. If Brandon Aiyuk can step up and go toe-to-toe with Fred Warner every day on a daily basis, it's only going to make him better. I love it. I love it. Who's been playing in the slot? Darkus Denard, Dante Johnson, Sam Womack, Diamador Lenore. They've been rotating everybody. I think Darkus Denard has gotten the most work as first-team nickel cornerback. Take it for what it's worth. Darqueze Denard. I mean, if the season started today, I think Denard would probably be your starting slot corner. But take it for what it's worth. Debtopia says, haven't heard much about Juice. Is he okay? Juice is great. He's had a good camp. He's Juice. He's caught use check. He's a beast. He's a professional. He's a veteran. Although, I will say this today. Nick Bosa put him on his keister. Nick Bosa rocked Kyle Juszczyk today. That's it. Nick Bosa just made Kyle Juszczyk look like a little boy today. It was filthy. I mean, Juszczyk was trying to block him on the line of scrimmage, and Nick Bosa just said, get away from me, peasant. And I mean, he threw him. I was like, whoa, he rocked him. So, I mean, it is what it is. Any sightings of Jason Poe at fullback? No, they have not tried Jason Poe at fullback. He has his hands full playing lineman. Yeah, that position right there is a lot to learn. They haven't got cute with him yet and thrown him at fullback. Well, maybe one of these days when he learns all, the ropes, and he's still developing as an offensive lineman. So, my man, 49ers Media says, who's making the final 53, Hasty or Mason? If I had to choose, and if it's based on what I've seen in training camp, Mason. Jordan Mason makes it over Jermichael Hasty. I think so. I think Jordan Mason is a steal right now. He looks like a gem, undrafted gem. Any word on when JV will be back, says Corey Garza. He is on the PUP list, so he might miss the first 4 weeks of the season. He is battling back from a torn ACL, so my guess is mid-season. Maybe they get him towards the end of the year, and he could be a nice little veteran depth piece towards the end. It really depends on how the knee's going, but they did put him on the PUP list. I guess anywhere from week 4 on would be where he comes back. But he looked good today. He was rehabbing. He was out there moving. He was running on the knee, doing his little individual drills. And Jason Verrett looked healthy and good. It was a great sign. That was one of my favorite things I saw today. First thing, I walk into camp, and Jason Verrett looking good, looking great. So, let's see. Jimmy says 5 running backs to 53. Let's see. Elijah Mitchell, Trey Sermon, TDP, Jeff Wilson, and Jordan Mason. Yeah, this running back room is great. They are very good. The running back room is, they look good. They got some talent. TDP, let's talk about TDP real quick. I don't think I mentioned him. Started off kind of sluggish. He had a bad snap exchange. He fumbled the ball. He had a drop pass, and then after that, he finished the day strong. Like 2 great power runs. He had one of the most physical runs. Put the head down, and you hear a boom, a thud, a loud thud. And I was like, oh, man, this guy just brought the power. Then he had a nice little run after that. So TDP is going to be a bruiser. He's going to be the guy that goes and does HB dive. He's going to be the guy that does those little runs up the middle. This guy's a bruiser. Good finish for him. Bad start, but he finished strong. That's what you like to see. Keep with it. Finish the day strong. That's what's going to really impress the coaches. Greenlaw or Al Shahir, I mean, they've both been in. I think Greenlaw and Al Shahir have been in about equally. And they're both going to be in on the line. Like, the way the Niners are going to line these guys up is they're both going to be on the field. I think you're going to have Greenlaw on the weak side, Fred on the middle, and then you're going to have Greenlaw out there somehow. They're going to put them all out there. You know, Sam linebacker, Greenlaw. They're going to have them all out there. Or not Greenlaw, Aziz, sorry. They're going to have them all out there. They've been getting about the same. So, let's see, a couple more. Kinlaw, he's looking slim and trim and looking like the best shape of his life. I like what I've seen out of Kinlaw. He looks healthy. He looks happy. They're easing him back into the rotation. That's the thing with Kinlaw is they don't want to overstrain him, but they're playing it smart with him. Tarvarius Moore, he looks very improved this year. He's had a few strong days in camp overall. I think Tarvarius Moore, outside of Talanoa Hufanga, has been your second best safety, all right? Not named Jimmy Ward. Obviously, Jimmy Ward's the man, but Hufanga and Moore have been very nice. But I think Moore, considering he had a torn Achilles, overall, he's had a pretty good camp. So, that's it. That's it for today. I'm going to take a break. I got to go do a few more things. I got to go get my daughter. I just realized the time. I've been rambling. That's my first video of the day, YouTube. We'll talk about more stuff later. I might get a little rest. I need to go do a couple errands, and we'll be back. But yeah, appreciate you guys. We will chop it up again later tonight on Instagram. I will be back at training camp tomorrow, and we're going to do it all over again. I love you guys. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you a little later. Riddy Music says, good talking to you today at camp. You're a solid dude. Appreciate you, my friend. Everybody I've met at camp has been amazing, and I appreciate all the support. I love running into you guys, so if I see you, say what's up to your boy. I will say what's up back to you, and if you want a picture, we take pictures too. We do it all. It's just crazy how many people recognize me, and it's been a blast, and I love hanging out with you guys. So if I see you at camp, say what's up, and I love you guys. Take care. I'll see you soon. Be back in a couple hours, and we'll do it all over again. Take care.